Sometimes a first-time home buyer will think they found a deal of a lifetime. All the other houses in the area are selling for 900, but this one is just 750,000 rand. The buyer becomes really excited because the house looks so attractive. At the viewing, the agent mentioned some issues with the house, but the buyer is in such a hurry to buy that she's barely listening. She quickly signs the offer to purchase and just skims through the disclosure form, a very important document that discloses all of the defects with the property. Come moving day, she is over the moon. Everything just feels like a victory. But 3 months in, and her excitement has completely disappeared. The house needs more repairs than she expected. The area is noisier than she noticed. So today I want to talk about the powerful reality in real estate, and that is sometimes the cheapest house can be the most expensive. And if you can thoroughly understand why, you might save yourself one of the most inconvenient mistakes that first-time home buyers make. More often than not, when first-time home buyers are looking to buy a property, they are looking at just one number, and that is the purchase price. They ask themselves, what is the cheapest house I can buy in this area? Now, this might make a lot of sense if you don't take into account the fact that the purchase price is only one number when it comes to owning the property. Even a well-maintained house requires ongoing expenses. But if the house is cheap, those maintenance costs may escalate very quickly. I have a client who bought an excellently priced property. He lived there for about 1.5 years, and then one day he just called me up and he's like, Sablola, I can't deal anymore. I am completely hurtful. The ants in the area are driving me crazy. And he said, it's not just my house, it's this entire area of the suburb. I need to explain why I say he's my client. He was selling his property so that he could move to a different suburb. So I was one of the agents who was trying to find him a buyer for the house that he was selling. So it was not sold by me, it was sold by a different agent, and that agent then got him this excellently priced property. So this guy calls me up and he says, Sibulola, I've seen a property that you've listed for 800,000 in such a suburb and I want to go view it. And I said to him, it's fine, we can go view, but I need you to know that there is a lot of damp in this house. So he says, no, that's not going to work. He says, but I saw another one that you've listed for 840 in the same suburb. And I said to him, this one's also got issues. And I told him what the problem was. He said, no, that's not what he wants. So I said to him, dude, every house that you find listed in this suburb for less than 1 million is going to come with drama. Of that, I can assure you. There is no ways you will find a property at that price range that does not come with drama. Now, if you see the drama and you're still fine with it, by all means, 100% go for it. My problem is when you see a cheap listed property and buy it without thinking. I'd really appreciate a like. And if you want to be notified every time videos of this type of content is loaded, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell. A house that needs a new roof can cost hundreds of thousands of rands to repair. Now, a house you bought for 650,000 is costing you an extra 80,000 or 100,000. And the bank is more than willing to lend you money up until the purchase price, but they will not give you extra to go fix up the home. So now the buyer has to pay for all of their fixes out of their pocket, and now this bargain property starts to look like a financial burden. That is the first reason why a cheap house can be expensive. The second reason is that in property, usually the price reflects reality. If a property is substantially cheaper than all of the other houses in the area, then one automatically thinks there must be something hidden here. We live quite far from a shopping center, but there is a hypermarket quite close to us, so we generally do our shopping there. Now, there is a deli in the corner, and there's usually, I actually haven't seen this in a long time, I must be honest, but there was a stage where I remember seeing a table near the deli, and they would have pre-packed food at ridiculous discounts. So you might find a mac and cheese for like 60% off, or you'd find chicken wings pre-packed for 50% off. Now, it's quite easy to kind of think like, wow, I've struck a bargain. But if you look at the expiry date on this food, you'll see that it's based before like 3 o'clock the same day. Meaning like if you want to keep this thing for dinner, the store is not going to be responsible. So by all means, take it at that discount, but you must understand that it's not going to have the same shelf life as food that it only expires 3 days from now. I've heard so many times people say in life you get what you pay for. Another reason why cheap houses can become expensive is because of location. It is the single most important factor when it comes to the value of a property, and yet it's the only thing about a property that you simply cannot change. You can renovate the kitchen, you can fix the garden, you can paint the walls, but many of the cheap houses are cheap because the location has got a major long-term disadvantage. The property might be located in a place that is located far from amenities as well as employment opportunities. It might be near an eyesore, such as a dump site. It might be next to a noisy freeway, which is a major inconvenience. The financial implications of a bad location are enormous because you can never, ever change the location of your property. Another reason cheap problems can become expensive is because of the resale problem. As first-time home buyers, we often don't think about the fact that we're just buying a house. We forget that we're also purchasing a future exit strategy. One day we may want to move. Work situations change. Perhaps we want to upgrade to a bigger property. And when the time comes, the resale value of that property is extremely important. If a property is cheap, because the area is undesirable or it's declining, the value will grow very slowly and sometimes not at all. So while you thought you were saving money at the beginning, you actually end up losing what could be part of your long-term wealth. Instead of asking yourself, what is the cheapest house I can afford? Rephrase that to what is the best value I can afford? A property that is slightly more expensive but needs less repairs and is positioned in a more stable area and also has a stronger resale value may actually be a lot cheaper than buying a bargain property that is cheap purely because of its problems. Smart buyers look at the total cost of ownership, not just the purchase price. When you take all of these factors into account, you really start to look at home ownership through a completely different lens. And suddenly, the cheapest house on the block does not necessarily seem like the most appealing. So you can see that in property, a good deal is not always necessarily the lowest price. It's the one that causes you less mental and financial stress in the long term. Here are the other first-time home buyers' mistakes to avoid. I'll catch you in the next video.